Alright, what is up guys? Today I'm going to talk about 6 helpful and useful ways to prolong and extend the life of your the battery life of your laptop. So basically I picked out 6 ways to do this. Now there's a lot of different methods and ways that you can extend the battery life in your laptop, but basically these are just the 6 things that I would do. So basically let's jump right into it. Number 1 is the screen brightness. So this is something that actually greatly affects the life of your battery. The brighter the screen is, the more power it has to exert to display things on it and to keep that screen brightness up to par. Basically, just turning it down the slightest bit will increase the life of your battery, excuse me, dramatically. Um, and so that can be a really big thing. In order to do that, all you have to do is come into your display options. I'm on my desktop, so I won't be able to do this because I have to adjust my screen brightness through my actual monitor, which is like a little button on the side. But basically, in the display options on your laptop, there will be an option to adjust the brightness of your screen. Some laptops even have a hotkey for it, like one of the F keys or something like that. That's really easy to find. Next would be turn off your speakers. Now, if you're not using your speakers and you're not listening to music, turn them off, man. That is something that also will greatly prolong the life of your battery. Basically, all you have to do is come to your sound options. Excuse me, that's not it. Come to your sound options, just right click, go to sounds. You can either completely disable the speakers temporarily and then re-enable them when you want to, and all you have to do is just right click and then disable, and then make sure you have show disabled devices checked or it'll just disappear. And sometimes that freaks people out and they're like, whoa, what just happened? So or you could just mute your speakers. That's simple, and that will prolong the life of your battery. Believe it or not, it will. Next is power management. Now, power management is within the power options on the control panel. You can navigate there. It's just control panel, all control panel items, power options. Now, basically Windows 7 and Windows 8, I'm not too familiar with the Windows 10, but they have a preset power option. It comes with balance, and you can change the plan settings. And basically, this is when it turns off the display, when it puts the computer to sleep, when when the computer hibernates, things like that. Basically, when your battery starts running low, you can come in here and create your own power plan, your own power setting, and that'll disable things that don't need to be that aren't crucial to being used, and that'll prolong the life of your battery as well. So this is something you can do as well to prolong your battery life. Okay, next up is disable unnecessary hardware, like I mean anything like Bluetooth, things like that. Things that you're not using, you can do that through your devices and printers. You can come in here and disable hardware, um, or you can do it through the control panel and disable hardware. So it's all up to you, but that's a very useful tip that I would say. You can go into your device manager and disable hardware here. For instance, like a printer or something that's hooked up to your laptop that you're not using at the moment. Go in there and disable it. All you gotta do is just click on it and then right click and then disable. And again, have show all disabled devices checked before you do this. Basically, all you have to do is just right click and disable, and then right click and enable when you want to use it again. So that's something that's very big. Like, if you're not using it, just disable it, and that will prolong the life of your battery tremendously. Next, pick up a spare battery, man. Batteries in laptops love to die. They die constantly, all the time. I cannot stress this enough. Having a spare battery can be so useful and helpful, and keep it charged. So if your battery does die, this may seem like a very rudimentary tip, but if your battery does die, you could just switch it. So that's another one. And finally, last but definitely not least, number 6, don't leave your laptop plugged up all the time. I know a lot of people who do this, who just leave their laptop plugged into the power source just all the time. And that basically just drains the energy cells within the battery. And so when you disconnect it, it doesn't have that steady flow of power, and so it just immediately dies. So basically, in order to prolong those energy cells, what you need to do is let the battery fully drain all the way to 0%, and then let it charge all the way fully back up to 100%. And then when it's at 100%, disconnect it. and that will prolong the life of your battery tremendously. So, but these are 6 useful tips, guys, that I figured would help you guys prolong the battery life in your laptop. Um, so yeah, this is basically it for this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.